Since BlackRock initially filed for their Bitcoin spot ETF, I have not been a fan of these ETFs. In the past, I've made numerous videos actually explaining why all of these spot Bitcoin ETFs could even be an attack on Bitcoin. But today, an announcement came out that has actually changed my mind. So today, I'm going to explain why I'm actually far more optimistic on these Bitcoin spot ETFs. We're going to touch on the recent news and have a look at whether grayscale selling of Bitcoin is slowing down or not. And we're also going to cover whatever questions you guys have for me in the live stream today. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. I'm going to show you guys the recent announcement. That is actually one of the tweet threads I've written looking at BlackRock's attack on Bitcoin. But this tweet from Bitwise today absolutely changes everything for me. This is how I see things unfolding. I see a competition has just started in the ETF realm. So Bitwise took to Twitter and they said, announcement today, the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF becomes the first US Bitcoin ETF to publish the Bitcoin addresses of its holdings. Okay, this is very big. So Bitwise right now, let's actually have a look at how much money they have under management. Bitwise is the fourth largest ETF. We can see here in this yellow column, they currently have $465 million worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, that's correct. So they've got $500 million worth of Bitcoin. And out of the 10 Bitcoin ETFs, they're number 4. So they are a serious competitor, and they are now outsourcing and highlighting all of the Bitcoin that they hold in their addresses. We can see here, lots of people actually did the research today, and they had a look at this address on the Bitcoin blockchain, and they, in fact, proved that, yes, this one address is holding $465 billion worth of Bitcoin. So again, let's think about the custody concerns here, okay? Holding $460 billion worth of Bitcoin in a single signature wallet, probably not the best setup, okay? There are certain risks that come with that, but I want to go back to this Bitwise news because there's some really interesting comments about not only the custody route that they decided to take, but you can see here, many of the other people took to Twitter and they said, hey, Federal Reserve, it's your turn. Audit the Fed. Why doesn't the Federal Reserve or any of the banks that you use do exactly what Bitwise does? And that is actually outsource showing people what they're holding, okay? I think this is absolutely massive, and I think this is going to create a competitive nature, okay? These other ETFs like BlackRock, Fidelity, and Co., what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to compete with Bitwise, okay? I typically try not to tweet about ETFs because, to be honest with you guys, I don't really care. It's pretty boring. But I tweeted out today, I said, okay, I've been warning about why the ETFs are an attack, but this is huge. The way we decrease the potential of a paper attack on Bitcoin is to support on-chain transparency. This is exactly what Bitwise is doing. They're moving towards on-chain transparency. I say, yes, it's not perfect. Again, this is an ETF. It's not real Bitcoin, but it's a step in the right direction for those who can't take self-custody, okay? I do think this is very big. I do think this is an enormous announcement, and I do think this is going to force the hand of BlackRock and Fidelity and others if we do see outflows from BlackRock and, customers of Fidelity who want to actually go and use Bitwise, which is an ETF that is showing on-chain, hey, we hold your Bitcoin. We own the $460 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now, many people are probably asking me, they're saying, okay, this is interesting. So Bitwise has bought $460 billion worth of Bitcoin. Why hasn't the price gone up? Okay, now let's have a look at the ETF flows for today. I'm going to quickly share my screen, and I want to have a look at the flows today from the ETF guru, Eric Balkunas. We can see here, he says that the GBTC volume is down again today. Okay, are we seeing a trend of exhaustive selling? Eric does. That's what he believes. He says this could be a sign of exhaustion. And this is very, very interesting because we're still seeing buy volume come in. So you can see here, Eric has brought up the volumes of trade for Grayscale. we can see that there was $1.3 billion worth of volume on the 19th of January. So that was last Friday. On Monday, it was again $1 billion worth of volume. But look at this. Today, $460 million worth of volume. So this is half of the volume that we saw traded on Monday. Okay. Tuesday, even yesterday, 762 million. So this is 25% less than Monday. Today's 50% less than Monday. Okay. This is exactly what you want to see. This is very bullish. We're watching Grayscale actually exhaust themselves from the selling. Okay. We know, well, I'm not sure if you guys know, but I've filmed a video that's going to be released tomorrow looking at who are the major sellers of the Grayscale Bitcoin ETFs. So we've seen $2.5 billion of outflows, and most people would be surprised to know that over $1 billion of that outflows actually came from FTX alone. Okay, so I'm going to quickly answer some questions in the chat before I wrap this live stream up and answer the big hitting question. We got a viewer from Paris. Hello in Europe. I don't know what time it is over there. Magazines. Yes, they'll be talking about the Bitcoin Times magazines over my shoulder. Again, if you want to pick up a copy of the Bitcoin Times magazine, there's only 2,100 of those puppies printed every single year. This year, we focus on the energy edition. So if you want to get yourself an amazing collectible Bitcoin item that has some great articles in there. So there's actually 6 articles written in each one of those magazines from 6 different Bitcoin authors in the space. This year, we got some essays in there from Muddy Bent, Gideon Power, Alex Svetsky, of course. So again, check out the link, maybe link in the description if you want to pick up one of those puppies. I could probably get you guys a discount if you use promo code Mikic. That should get you 21,000 sats off any edition of the Bitcoin Times. So let's wrap this thing up. I think this is enormously bullish for Bitcoin. I think that, yes, there is still a potential that we're going to see a Bitcoin BlackRock attack, okay? This doesn't change everything. I'm not telling people to go out there and buy the ETF. All I'm saying is an ETF is inevitable. We were always going to get an ETF. That is part of Bitcoin's monetization, okay? If Bitcoin is to become the global store of value that I believe it's going to become, where it's going to be worth hundreds of trillions of dollars, yes, tens of millions of dollars per coin this decade, the ETFs are inevitable and they are only accelerating. The only trend that I believe matters, let's see if I have that chart up on screen for you guys. I'm going to see how it goes. Maybe I've got the chart. The only chart that matters is the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges for sale. Today, there's less than 2 million Bitcoin sitting on exchanges for sale. Okay, that is enormously bullish. BlackRock and this Bitcoin spot ETFs have already bought over 100,000 coins. Okay, we haven't seen the impact on the price because Grayscale sold 60,000 coins and Bitcoin was, let's be honest, due for a little bit of a correction after rallying by what, 200% in 12 months. We rallied from 15K to 49K in a straight line. Okay, once Bitcoin cools off a little bit of leverage in the system shakes out, and Grayscale slowly actually, runs out of sellers, what we are going to see is going to absolutely melt faces. I've filmed a video tomorrow. I'm calling it the BlackRock Bitcoin Flippening. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe so you do see that video. It's going to be a more polished, edited, more snappy video using a higher quality camera. I do apologize. The live streams I do, I'm using a little dinky webcam. I can't figure out how to live stream through my phone. So I apologize for that, but stay tuned for that video. I think it's going to be a good one. And I'm actually going to be talking about what this flipping is. Okay. Lots of people have been talking about the ETH and the Bitcoin flipping for a number of years. Okay. Lots of people still believe Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin. I personally don't. And I think the more interesting flipping we should be paying attention to is exactly what is happening with BlackRock and these ETFs. To give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek for joining me on this, what day is it? Is it Wednesday or is it Thursday? I honestly, that all days feel the same for me. I actually don't know what day it is, but to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, there you go. The girlfriend's in the background telling me it's Wednesday. So shout out to Pam. You always probably see her in the live chat. She's the one who's keeping my calendar. But this is what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the Bitcoin supply shock and the Bitcoin flipping in. You can see here I tweeted out this image from the Bitcoin Times account yesterday. So again, If you want to know what the Bitcoin ETF flipping in is, why I believe it's going to actually cause a super cycle, and why nobody is bullish enough on Bitcoin, stay tuned for tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm going to pop a video up on screen explaining why I believe the super cycle has already started. That video is going to be popped up on screen after the live stream's finished. So again, maybe rewatch it and you'll find a link to that video somewhere around there. Well, that said, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We have a couple of people in the live stream. First time catching a live. Hello, Kevin O'Donnell. We've got my boy Stoic. Stoic's in the live stream. G'day, Stoic. The most interesting flipping in is Monero flipping Bitcoin. Never, ever, ever going to happen. With all that said, guys, hello to Kevin from Ireland.